Okay.
Hey guys, Crystal here from Elite Hair Care USA. So today I have my client here, New Year's Eve by the way. We are going to do a silk press on her, at which we've already done her wash, we've already done her condition. She's already dried about 60% of the way. So what we're going to do now is go ahead and blow her out the remainder of the way, and then we are going to silk press her. The reason why I wanted to make this video was because I know that a lot of you who have coarse textured hair are sometimes told that you can't get a silk press. If you do get a silk press, your curl pattern is not going to return. So many different things. So with that being said, she allowed me to make her my YouTube model. So we'll talk a little bit between the press, and then going forward, we'll be able to answer some questions, that kind of thing. So you guys just stay tuned. All right. So the video quality today is not great, clearly, but we're gonna make it work. I hate this thing. There we go. Much better. Much better quality. Now you can see yourself better.
Oh, yes.
Sorry guys, the Wi-Fi is not friendly today, okay?
That I had coarse hair, but I'm really seeing it now.
Now you can see what you have, right? Okay, guys. So we have completed her blow dry, which she just noticed how coarse her own texture is. With coarse textured hair, it sometimes requires a lot more work because the texture itself, it kind of repels any and everything that touches it. It's low porosity. Majority of the time, coarse textured hair clients are low porosity. So they need a lot more moisture. They need heat for the conditioners to penetrate the cuticle. And they require a lot more heat to even allow them to be straight. But they are actually one of the strongest hair types to have. Is it the greatest to have? Probably not, because they work a lot harder than anyone else. But going forward, I mean, it's just what God blessed you with. You just have to kind of deal with it, right? All right. So we're going to start at the nape. Now, how do you know when you have coarse textured hair? How you determine your texture is by literally taking a strand of hair and you rub it between your fingers. If you can definitely feel the actual strand, it is more, and I mean definitely, like if you were to roll a piece of very thick fish line between your fingers. Same thing with hair. If you were rolling it in between your fingers and you can definitely feel that actual strand, then that is going to tell you that you are either medium or coarse textured. Coarse textured hair, you can also typically count each individual strand because the strand is always a lot bigger in diameter, or in diameter. I said that right. Where fine textured hair, you typically can't even feel the hair rolling in between your fingers. So that is how you can determine the texture of your hair. Is it the most accurate? No, not really, but it kind of helps you have a starting place to know if you're fine or medium/coarse. All right, so when I'm silk pressing coarse hair, I do not do large sections, only because the large sections, it doesn't allow me to get to every strand. And you definitely want to make sure that you are getting to each strand of hair, because you want the press to last a little bit longer without you having to do multiple passes of the iron. And then I did put a little bit of Frizz Tamer and Shine Serum on her hair to help as the heat protectant, of course, and then to also help. The Frizz Tamer will help a little bit better with coarse hair because it's going to allow you to have another. Now, products that we use today during our wash, because I knew that I didn't want our hair to tangle up too quickly, so I used the Hydra Strength shampoo and conditioner as her treatment shampoo and conditioner, and then I used our Detox shampoo as the clarifier to cleanse her scalp and decongest her scalp and the hair. Turn on for me, babe. So I'm going to bring you guys this way so you guys can see a little bit better what's happening. And her hair is silking really well, which is a good thing. Some clients with coarse texture, it's kind of like wire, and you have to continue going over it over and over and over. And that's one of the mistakes that people make whenever they're silk pressing hair. They automatically assume that because it didn't press as straight as they initially wanted it, or initially wanted it to, they start doing multiple passes and then they break the bond. If I apply heat protectant before the blow dry, I need to reapply. Honestly, I do not apply heat protectant to wet hair if it's a silicone base. If it's a heat protectant that's also a leave-in conditioner, that's different. But if it's solely a heat protectant, it should actually be applied to the hair when it's dry before you use your thermal styling tools. Keep in mind, if you blow dry a heat protectant to dry the hair, you're basically burning in product into the hair. So I try not to do that unless it's a leave-in conditioner that also has heat protectant properties, whereas a leave-in conditioner in a spray form should be done on wet hair. that's where we're at right now. We were talking a little bit earlier in regards to silk pressing and the different methods that people use. So I do see some stylists that like to use roller brushes on natural hair, which I'm not a huge fan of. Number one, because when you're roller brushing natural hair that's not dry, you run that risk, number one, of it being the bond being broken. Number two, you're putting a lot of tension on hair as it's in its fragile state. So while I'm not saying that that can't be done, because I see some stylists prefer to use roller brushing because they think that it's more professional, it looks good to them. That's just their choice. I don't preferably like that way because I feel like the hair is at its weakest moment when it's wet, and then you're using a ceramic roller brush or even a boar bristle roller or bristle. Yeah, boar bristle. Oh, I'm so tongue-tied today. Boar bristle brush to then go through and blow that hair out because you don't want to have to work any harder. So you want to go ahead and blow it out and almost silk it at the same time, when I just don't agree with that. So the iron that I'm using to do her press is a titanium iron. For her texture, I definitely need some more direct heat. Ceramic would not help us. Do you think I could use a ceramic iron and silk you out?
Definitely.
In one, let me say it the right way, in one pass.
Oh no.
Right.
I know
Even
that.
she knows it, because as we were doing the blow dry, she's like, when I'm looking at my hair now, man, that's a big difference.
That's why I usually just stick to the wigs, because I have so much issue trying to get it to tame.
So before she came in, she typically is wigs or wigs and sew-ins and stuff.
Typically wigs, so I could just take it off and put it back on.
Okay. So she wears wigs a lot, mainly because it's probably because her hair is just not that easy to manage or have a style all the time, which I kind of figured that. It's not this is not simple hair to deal with. It will kind of make you feel defeated sometimes because you're just like, I'm not even going to try. You kind of back yourself out of things really, really quickly because you already know, like, it's going to take me a whole bunch of time.
Mm-hmm.
But it's doing it. So that's a good thing.
Yeah. I know it's raining Friday, though.
Oh, yeah. I'd probably say stay inside if you're not working. So how do you manage or maintain a silk press when you have coarse textured hair, medium textured hair, or even fine textured hair? So I'm going to do the do's and the don'ts of this. Let's start with the don'ts. Don't use satin or silk scarves after a silk press. Satin and silk basically allows moisture. It's made so that the hair does not dry out. The worst thing that you can actually do when you have a silk press that you're trying to allow it to last a lot longer is go and put a satin or silk scarf on it, and then you're adding that added moisture content from that fabric, and now the hair starts to revert. So what I suggest is using a typical stocking cap or a wig cap, the ones you get at the little beauty supply stores. You can wrap your hair and use a stocking cap, which allows the hair, number one, it still allows that oxygen to get to the strand and to get to the scalp, just in case you perspire. But it also keeps the hair compressed even when it expands. So if the hair is compressed and then it expands because moisture's gotten to it, it's going to dry, but it's going to dry compressed. Why? Because the stocking cap is snug enough that it's not going to allow that hair to really open up or expand out and not retract. So a stocking cap is what I used to use because I perspire a lot at night when I actually had more than 87 strands of hair. Now I don't have to worry about that. But back then my issue was my hair would never last when I had a roller set. And I was relaxed, but because I perspired so much, it would get really, really frizzy. So my frizzy would be considered your natural curl pattern, just popping right back out. So a stocking cap will definitely help. You want to kind of stick with fabrics that are more drying, and I know that that's kind of like it's kind of contradicting because we don't want our hair to dry out, but if you're trying to keep your press longer and you are natural, cotton is going to be your best friend. Silk and satin are not your best friend when you are trying to maintain a press and you are natural or you perspire a lot. And then just a quick reminder, tomorrow is the New Year's Day sale, January 1st and 2nd. Everything is 40% off. The code and all of that good stuff will be going out tonight to our mailing list, and it will also be posted on our YouTube and Instagram channel. Now, I think, did I actually mention the products I use for your shampoo and conditioner? Yes, I did. I use the Hydra Strength on purpose. Hydra Strength is one of those shampoos and conditioners where it's an equal balance of hydration and strengthening. But the conditioner from the Hydra Strength is an instant detangle. Did it tangle at all when I was brushing you or combing you out?
Not at all.
So it's a really good conditioner, especially for natural hair. It's an instant detangler. The moment you put it on, rub that baby in, let it sit for a minute or two, and then you can comb it through with your wide tooth comb, and we are all out the way. So I love the Hydra Strength for my silk presses specifically because I don't want to have added tension or added stress on my client's hair. Hi, if you're allergic to black dye, are you allergic to all hair dyes? No, but it's kind of like you have to play around with the different hair dyes to see which one works for you and which one doesn't. There's no way to actually tell unless you know what ingredient in the dye you are allergic to. I'll probably do a Q&A sometime tomorrow. I don't want to do it right now because time is against us. And I don't want to be here forever either. So we are already trying to get through her press. And then we're going to do an actual cut on her, like a style cut. So you guys will be able to see the style cut and everything. She has a little bit of buildup on her scalp. That's like dry scalp. And I'm one of those people where I just can't leave it behind. I need to scratch it.
I do get a lot of dandruff, so...
I didn't see any dandruff. I think it's more dry scalp.
Okay. What should I do with that? Because
You probably need to moisturize more. That
Okay.
comes especially because you wear a lot of wigs.
Okay.
It's very drying
Okay.
to the hair. So your hair is dehydrated. That I can tell you. Your hair is severely dehydrated. And that comes from, just lack of conditioning, lack of care.
Okay.
And a lot of wig wears, protective style wears, that's typically the number one problem.
Okay.
So it's something where You know, I tell a lot of people, even on my YouTubes, if you're going to wear a wig for 4 weeks, you need to pay your hair the same respect.
Okay.
You know, and that's how you're kind of giving it a balance. No matter what, it's still going to dehydrate because it's being covered up for a long period of time, but it won't be so bad.
Okay.
So for her style, we're going to be doing a bob. I don't think it's going to be as short as the pictures that she gave me. I don't think she knew that her hair was even this length. So
I didn't. Looking at it now.
When's the last time you got it pressed?
2016.
Okay, so we're about to hit 4 years. So that's a big gap. That's probably why you don't know how long it takes. But it has a lot of split ends, which is another thing that comes with the territory. Typically, you want to get a trim at least 3 to 4 times a year, which is like once every quarter.
Okay. Trust me, I don't mind cutting it down to whatever it needs to be cut.
Please tell the YouTube family who tries to hold on to the 3 strands of split ends.
I don't mind cutting it down. Whatever needs to be gone, be gone.
Yep, it's going to grow out a lot healthier. So we're almost done with the press, and then we're going to go ahead and cut her into her bob. She wants a more stylish bob, and I think you wanted the ones that had more layering, am I right?
Yes.
Okay. So we're going to do some more with one of those styles with more layering, and that will also take care of a lot of the split ends that she has. There's some breakage, but honestly, there's nothing we can do about that at this moment. It just has to grow out.
Okay.
And then when you're pressing, you want to go a little bit slower than you would. Because remember, each individual strand needs to be touched by the iron. And if you just brush straight through it, you're going to keep doing this. Trying to silk the hair out. And it's never going to silk because you're not maintaining that tension that's needed. We'll touch those last. So you can use a hot comb to do this press as well. I decided not to use a hot comb today because I wanted people to see that it is possible to do a silk press on coarser hair without even using a hot comb. But a hot comb, of course, is preferable. Will you work as hard? Probably you still will. You probably have about 2 more steps from this. But the hot comb will kind of help to break that curl pattern down. Actually, when I started silking hers out, it actually is not that hard to silk. So the hot comb for me wasn't really needed. But everything's by preference. There's no right or wrong. Yeah, I need to just start using my cell phone service because the quality's better. When I use the Wi-Fi, you think Wi-Fi quality is better? It's horrible.
Oh no. And sometimes I have to do the same thing.
Switch back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. My second head sweats, my silky press starts to come out. Is this normal? I mean, yeah, sweat is still considered, moisture, water, perspiration, whatever. So it's going to do exactly what it's supposed to. You're still natural. You're not relaxed. And a silk press is not a relaxer. It's a temporary form of straightening, and I mean very temporary. So this is not something that has a time frame of, oh, how long is it going to last? It's dependent on you, your hair, and the weather itself. There's a number of factors that will determine how long or short it lasts. How often would you recommend a coarse hair client get treatments for their hair? They're actually going to do more treatments than anyone else because their hair is typically low porosity, but it's low porosity and coarse. That is like a rock with another rock around it. So they're going to do a lot more treatment, and probably be about 20 minutes instead of 15 minutes, depending on the treatment type. And for treatment, it would be more, say, moisture or hydration. Strength is not even the issue. They have added layers of protection. It's the moisture that doesn't penetrate that's really what's needed. What's the best brush? There's so many out there, to be quite honest. You just kind of have to play with them. There's no better or worse brush. I use the paddle brush the most. I have to check the weather reports before I decide or not whether I want to do my hair. Okay, so I mean, weather reports aren't going to help you either, because the weather report can say that there's a 20% chance of rain, and you have a hair appointment at 2 o'clock. Does that mean you're not going to show up? I doubt it. Your font is really broken. Those wigs, honey.
Mm-hmm.
Every time they say, oh no, it's not touching her hairline. Yes, it is. At least one strand at each.
I've noticed that in the middle as well, it's kind of
broken.
Mm-hmm.
So for her hair, we're definitely going to be using the Saran wrap method to allow the cuticle to lay even more. It's kind of, you play it by ear. If your client's hair, if the cuticle kind of just wants to stand straight up, then I definitely use the Saran wrap method. My silk press lasts only because I wrap the heck out of it. So if you guys can look at her hair, you can actually see strand by strand her actual density. It's really dense, which is it's great for us who don't have coarse textured hair. For those who do, they're like, ugh. You just want it to lay down so bad. Just like, please, just lay. Be smooth. Am I lying? In your mind, you're like, just be smooth. I want to read your questions, but I can't. So we have about one more row, and then we're going to go ahead and cut her and curl her. We're going to cut her and curl her, and then we're going to Saran wrap her. Do you want it at your neckline? Where did you want it?
I could go like here.
Neckline. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Good choice. And she found me on YouTube just like you. So thank you guys for my YouTube tribe for patronizing me. All right, tilt this way for me. So I'm gonna bring you guys this way just so you can kind of see what's happening here. So we are gonna bring it to right here.
Mm-hmm.
So right below the nape of her neck. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give her a U part because I want to be able to layer everything. The reason for the U part is her hairline in the front is a lot shorter anyway, so I don't have to worry about that. And then this is going to allow me to create those layers, but go with the shape of the head. I didn't want to create a box because then it can create a boxy kind of cut. So the U part gives it's almost like a squoval or square oval. All right. Cutting comb. And I'm going to use my clippers. This is a great way to start your guide quickly. Now you tilt down for me. So we are going to be right in there. Just like that. And then I'm going to push it behind her ear. So don't be afraid of your clippers, guys. All right. So what I'm going to do is now I'm going to go through and layer the remainder. If I can find my shears, I can do that. You know, my shears love to walk away. Ah, you know, that's not it either. Is it? No, it's not my shears, but I can use these. These are my really long ones. They're not my fave though. These are really long. Ah, I found them, but I already got this. Okay, so these are my really long shears. I have a couple of different pair. I'll just use these for today. Tilt down for me. So I don't have a lot of layering to do. If you notice, it's just a couple strands hanging. So this tells me that a lot of this hair did need to come off. And then for the front, I'm going to kind of keep it more blunt. And then we'll do the same thing over here. Now, even though I'm doing what we call notching or whatever anyone wants to call it, I am still maintaining a line. So I'm not just going in and just snipping whatever. So I'll show you guys exactly what I mean. There we go. So you can see it like that. Okay. So if you notice, I still have a line. It's still a line there. And I'm still maintaining that line. I'm just not making it a blunt line. So I'm still following my guide. And then of course for her front, I'm not gonna really mess with that, only because it just needs to grow out. So I'm not gonna do anything to this area. The most you can do is just kind of go through, and if you see any little hairs that you wanna just kind of trim slightly, you can. But you don't wanna make it too much shorter than what it already is. So this is why I said the Saran wrap method will be our go-to today, because I want the cuticles to relax. Took down for me. There's a little area here that I see. There we go. I found it. So if you see any little areas that need to be taken care of, you definitely can. You just don't want to go back in and change the haircut. All right, so we're going to use some Sebastian Shaper. I like to spray it all over all at once and then kind of rub it through just so I can distribute it really well. For her hairline, I'm going to go ahead and silk that out last. So she's going to go under the dryer and everything before I silk out her hairline, because it's going to just revert back. So I like to do that last. I kind of learned that as I've been doing silk presses and just, you know, mastering my craft, I've learned to do the edges as literally the last thing I touch. So I'm still using a titanium iron, but I'm doing larger sections, and this is more for style. So if you notice, these sections are a good size. I'm not silking her again, so I don't want them to be too small. And then I'm going to make them just a little bit tighter because I'm going to wrap her. Just a tad bit tighter, like that. It's still going to relax, but I want it to still have a little bit of shape to it. And she's only going to go under the dryer for about 5 minutes. For the crown, I'm just going to do some, I don't want to say big. They're going to be more straight because I want the crown to lay flat. So you'll see when I get up there. They say you're gorgeous.
Oh, thank you.
So it's looking better already. So if you guys notice, I'm not combing her down on purpose. I'm saving that for it. I want it to cool, And then when I wrap her with the Saran wrap, everything is just going to come together, but it's still going to have that nice layering effect, and it's still going to have a little bump to the end, just a very small bump. If I start her off straighter and then go and wrap her, it's going to get even straighter. Yes, oh, that's not good. Switch it up a little. Looking like do-up, you see? Looking like 6 figures, the hidden figures right now. So guys, I haven't touched her hairline yet, so all of this hair here will do last after I wrap her. The goal, of course, is going to be to wrap that hair and I'll allow it to lay with the remainder of the hair, and then when I go to silk her hairline, it will last a lot longer. Some people like to use wrap foam, like you can use the Elite Silky wrap foam and then go under the dryer, but you run the risk of the rest of the hair reverting, so I am not going to do that. I feel like with Coarse 4C hair, you have to moisturize every few days. More than likely, yes. That's very true, because that cuticle, it has like 2 shells on it. It's coarse, so that's one level of barrier. And then it's closed as low porosity, so that's the second level. And then you go inside. So it's kind of like, yeah, you do have to moisturize a lot more. And heat with your moisturizer is going to be your best friend. All right, so I'm going to actually go and turn on the dryer because I want it to warm up first. I don't want it to go under there cold. It gives the wrap time to set, so I don't want it to set just that. All right, so we are going to take our Saran wrap. Dollar store Saran wrap, nothing expanding, nothing expensive, none of that. Okay, so dollar store Saran wrap. Our paddle brush. So what I'm doing is I'm doing that down and around with her wrap. I want everything to lay on top of each other, including her hairline. Okay? Same thing with the back. And you don't want to create a hump on the head. That's why I do down and around, because I do not want a hump up here. I don't want to create height. We already have enough height with the density of her hair. So I want everything to just lay. Okay? Take your Saran wrap. You can put it down here first. Hold right here for me. Just this side. Just to get that one side. Some people like to tear it off. I've learned how to do it without tearing it off. You can let go. And you want to make sure that all of your pieces are in the wrap facing the right direction. If you're not comfortable doing it the way I just did, all you need to do is literally tear a piece off at the top, and then you can go around the sides and do the exact same thing. Okay, and then I am going to just go ahead and get all the air out. Come on, my dear. She'll go under the dryer for about 5 minutes. And then I can come back. I'm going to read some of your questions. Let me just get some of this hair up. And I'll read some questions for about 5 minutes. And then I will take her from under the dryer and you'll get to see the finished result. And that's how we are going to end the new year, or in the old year, with a bomb silk press and a clean shop. And then, as I said, don't forget, tomorrow is the 40% off sale, the New Year's Day sale. We're kicking off 2020 with a bang, and everybody will have edges. Everybody will have false spots. We're making sure everybody has edges. All right. Let's read some questions. What are some good rinses? There are no good rinses. I use Biggin, Jazzing, whatever works for you. Did you give her a rinse, or is that her natural hair color? Do you have color in your hair? That's her natural. She's naturally black, guys. That's not normal. Her hair is naturally solid black. The New Year's sale is 40% off everything. I'll be posting the flyer later this evening and sending an email out to the email list. So all of you will be able to partake in the New Year's sale tomorrow. It starts, actually, I'm saying tomorrow. It starts tonight at 11 p.m. right before the New Year's. So, hey, Hershey, it starts tonight at 11 p.m. The code is New Year. So it starts tonight. Her bob is going to be awesome. And I have so many things in store for 2020. I have a product coming that you will not have to worry about damage and breakage, and you'll be able to handle it from home. So you soon shall see. I wet my hair, but it seems to make it even drier and brittle. I think that was a conversation you guys were having before. Okay, that was everything. Yes. And nothing is excluded from the 40% off sale. Nothing. Not even the kids. There are a few products that are out of stock, though. This piece of hair right here is going to drive me nuts. Thank you. What are some treatments you recommend for moisture? Let's see. Okay, is it gonna stand? Hydra Strength and Moisture ELT are our moisture babies. Hydra Strength is more moisture and strength, though. Okay, you girls looking like, yeah. Okay. Does your frizz serum stop the hair from frizzing, or it controls the frizz? I want to purchase the frizz serum. It helps as a frizz controller, but its main purpose first is heat protection that also adds frizz control. If that answered that right. I just caught myself going, Yeah. I'm in Apopka /Altamont. When will your children's line be available? Hopefully next year. Which is tomorrow, next year, but it's not going to be available tomorrow, but hopefully next year. Will you be coming out with a cream leave-in conditioner? We actually have a cream leave-in conditioner. That's the Moisture ELT. It is a cream leave-in. My cowlicks look nicer than your hair. Really? That is so awesome. Well, tell your cowlicks I said, hey. Your hair looks very healthy. Thank you. And for you, would it be a shame to shave that off and leave your hair up? I don't know what that means. Is Hydra Strength better for 4C coarse hair? It doesn't matter if it's 4C, 4A, 4B. Your porosity is going to determine which products are better for you. That's the first line. Then texture comes on the second line. Oh, Hershey child, I'm here for the trolls. It's 31st. Thank you. When will you be giving the code out for the sale tomorrow? The code is New Year. So you can have the code now. The code is New Year. You never know. It might actually work right now if you try it. See, look, I just let y'all in on a secret. It might actually work right now if you try it. Hint, wink, wink. Oh, Hershey girl, people are ignorant all day long. It's usually the little people from Bangladesh and all. They like to come on here and just say stupid stuff. Will the hair repair and growth balm be back up tonight? No, it won't. I'm still waiting on it. It won't be back up tonight. No. That won't be back up tonight. What else is out of stock? The dynamic duo is actually going away, so that won't be on the site any longer. And dye her hair if you can in this video. Hair would be great for this video. Okay. Jura J. Somebody said, why is Elvis on your YouTube? Jura J is Elvis's son. What is a good method to use on trimming my hair at home? None. You go to the salon. Is the edge repair the same as the growth balm? No. The edge repair is a 2-part kit. So this is the edge repair kit. Part 1 and part 2. Part 1 is a cream. Okay. A little goes an extremely long way. And then when you put on part 1, you'll brush it in. And then part 2 is the serum. And then when you put, this is part 2, by the way. And you put the serum on after you've already brushed through the cream. And then you brush the serum on and you only use it once every 3 days. Do you do hair weaves? Somewhat. I don't have any appointments available, babe, for the next 2 weeks. Is there a salon you recommend in New York City? I need to find someone with your expertise. Honestly, I don't even recommend anybody ever anymore. Is it better to trim hair in a natural state or flat iron it out first? So of my 192 viewers, I would like someone to answer Maria for me. Is it better to trim your hair while it's in a natural state, or does it need to be silked out first? What is the part 1 and part 2 good for? The cream and the part 2. So it's actually a 2-part system for the edge repair. It comes together. It comes together. So part 1 is the cream and part 2 is the serum. Silk it out first. Absolutely. So Maria, you definitely should be getting it silked out before it's cut. Correct. Silk it out to make sure it's even. Someone close to you caught their hair on fire. Any advice? A haircut. That's all the advice that I can give. That is all the advice that I can give. So it will help your edges to grow back. Yes, Vanessa, that's why it's called an edge repair kit. Girl, yes. Your hair is laid too. Thank you. Not sure if you already answered, but humectant pomades, good. I never tried them. I used to use Humecto by Caracare. I don't know if that's the same thing. Really have been enjoying your videos. Thank you. So the growth balm is for all over your head. The growth balm is for the scalp. More safe for the scalp. But I use it on my children too. And I use it all over their head. All right, let's check out my girl. Let's see what's happening. Come on over, my dear. So we're going to take her out. Okay. So first thing first. Trying to cool it down. Sorry, I'm not just caressing her head on purpose, okay? We're cooling it down. And I need you to fight against me, okay?
Okay.
So what I'm doing is I'm twisting the Saran wrap off in the direction that the wrap is. Okay? I'm going to take a little bit of gloss. If you notice when I spray away from the head. That's how you're supposed to spray. For those of you that like to be right here, this is exactly why you have nothing but oil right there. All right, so I'm going to take my wide tooth comb. I'm using this comb today. And I'm going to comb down the wrap in the direction that I wrapped it first. Now you can go back and move it and style it. Do you see what that Saran wrap does? Okay. She can't see. I'm hiding her from the TV. So we're going to go ahead and give her part.
And that stuff smells good.
Thank you. What I'm going to do is go ahead and silk out her hairline really quickly. I'm definitely using titanium heat. So this way for me. All right. And then we're gonna just place our baby hairs here, make sure that they are all in the same direction. Can y'all see this? Do y'all see this hair? Okay. I'll see this. So for me, same thing here. So I'm still gonna silk it in the direction that we're gonna lay her hair. I don't wanna go against it. That's very important. Honey, that gorgeous black people hair, bomb. They say you have gorgeous black people hair and it's bomb.
Yes.
You can look, it's up there.
Oh my gosh. I was trying to keep my eyes closed too. Oh my goodness. I look good.
She look good, Joel. She look good. Yes, she looks awesome. And she has that nice layering in the back. And this is why I wanted to give it that nice bump, so that if I did comb it down, she still has a lot of that body and layering going on. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and use a little bit of hairspray. I'm not going to use Edge Tamer on her hairline. She has coarse textured hair. Edge Tamer is just going to add more moisture. So I'm going to use a dry aerosol spray and a brush. So how this works is you allow it to dry or make it kind of tacky. Take your brush and lay it, and then set it with your hand. Just like that. That's how you set a hairline. Now, if she chose, she can always push it behind either ear and give herself that kind of style. She has a lot of, sorry, I didn't mean to scrape your eye. Okay. She has a lot of versatility with the cut. She can use like her bangs, so many different things. Did you want to behind here or in front of here?
This one behind and then
that one in front.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Like such. She's all done. Good?
Yes. I love it.
You look like the Dark and Lovely commercial stuff. Beautiful. All right, guys. So we are all done. She is ready for her New Year's. Everybody, bye.
Bye.
It says it's so shiny.
It is. That's something that I like all the time.
Okay, guys, so I hope each and every one of you have an amazing New Year. Don't forget, tonight at 11 p.m. starts our New Year sale. The code is New Year, but who's to say that it won't work if you use it right now? So you can try it. What else? Boss Babes, New York, January, Atlanta, February, LA in April. LA is April 4th now. Just thanks you guys for having an amazing year. An amazing year. Just an amazing year. Let's just say it that way. You guys made my 2019 probably one of the best years of my life in regards to business and just everything. So I appreciate each and every one of you. I hope everybody takes in their new year tonight in a prosperous way. I'll be at church. Shout me out. Pray for me as I pray for you guys. And have an amazing